Hey everybody, hope you guys doing well and staying safe. My name is Agar Joshi. I'm the technical lead for the Developer Student Club. Today's workshop is going to be about Firebase. So throughout this workshop, we'll be doing, for the first minute or two, I'll be talking about what Firebase is, and then toward the majority of this video, we'll be creating a chat room web-based application, kind of like Discord or WhatsApp, and we'll be using Firebase and React. For those of you guys who want to focus more on the React portion, I'm actually just going to be more focusing on how Firebase works, but if you guys want to learn how to learn, well, not how to learn, but how to use React or what is React to be exact, Tyler's video with who is our UX UI designer recently made a card matching game. That was 2 videos ago. I'll link that down in the description. I highly recommend watching it. But for those who are interested in what Firebase is, well, here it is. Well, Firebase is basically it's a software platform created by Google about it was created I believe in 2011. I think it was deployed in 2013, 2014. It was originally used as a database server, and then I think now it has, 18 servers? Someone can correct me, but I think it was 18 servers, 18 or more. But nonetheless, it's basically started from a database server, and then now it's like a backend as a service, or basically BaaS as known. But it's basically the BaaS solution for mobile and web technologies, basically just providing everything they needed for managing, testing, building, hosting. As now the web application, the Firebase itself, you can actually help web applications to be actually the host. So rather than using GitHub, Roku, or anything that you use, you can actually use Firebase for it, which is actually pretty cool. And yeah, basically it's like used as one for all or all for one. Shout out to My Hero Academia, but yeah, it basically has everything that you want within a database-driven system. So as for example, let's say you're going to use that to host your web application, you can actually use it for Google Analytics. So you can check on how many viewership that you're having. You can use it for security purposes, which we're going to show later on to this video for the chat room purpose. So anytime you want to block a bad word, I'm going to show you how to actually do that. And yeah, pretty much I think it's really underrated. I think honestly, if you're ever going to be in a hackathon like Tuffy Hacks, which is going to be in next month, honestly, I think during spring break. So anytime, even for my case, when I was using for my hackathon back in last year, August, I believe, when I did it for MLH Rolling for Hack. I actually used this for one of my applications for a D&D application. I use this for maintain the databases so I can put in every character there is, or not every character, but for every race, including all the descriptions, etc. It really saved my butt, saved a lot of time. So I could focus more on the UI portion, especially recreating the character sheet. And honestly, for any of you guys who are going to going to Tuffy Hacks or any hackathon in the future, I highly recommend it. It really, really would help you save a lot of time. It saved my butt, definitely. I've saved so much time. Originally, I was going to do all the backend stuff by myself, but luckily, Firebase exists. And yeah, honestly, that's kind of what Firebase is. If you guys haven't really got a chance to try it, well, here's your chance for it. But before we get to the workshop video itself, or to the project portion, please do give like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Share this video with a friend. Join our Discord server if you haven't gotten a chance to do that already. If you have any questions based off this video itself, you can always ping us on Discord. You can ask us on our website at dsc-csuf.com. And yeah, honestly, like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out. And it really shows if you're really enjoying this or not. And also leave a comment down below. If you ask any question you want, give some pointers, give your thoughts, etc., etc. That'd be great, honestly. And yeah, that's pretty much what Firebase is. Just basically a one-for-all application. You can use it for whatever things you want. And we're going to show that in the demo that's coming up next. So again, like, subscribe. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys on the other end. All right, everybody. So after going through what Firebase is, we're going to now create the application for it. So to do that, we're going to do the following things. First, you can download the application itself, or if you want to start making it on your own, what you can do is we're going to be doing this to React. So to do that, you're going to have to do the following: create React app, and then you can name it whatever you want. You can call it DSC chat. You can call it anything you like. entirely up to you. So from there, you're going to be created to this module where you're going to just have, for example, the node module is public, source, functions is something we're going to be showing later on. I'll show you how that works in a bit. But for now, I'm going to delete this so we can follow along. As functions goes away, we're going to just have the app source, the app.js, app CSS, blah, blah, blah. From there, you're going to do one other thing, and we're just going to be linking, basically how we're going to be linking Firebase to this application. It's going to be npm install Firebase React Firebase hooks. If you do get lost, I'm going to include the directions page to this on our GitHub, so you can see it for yourself. So you can follow. You could do this application in order as I do it. The reason I'm not showing that because that's going to take too much of the time, especially for the video itself. It's going to take quite a while to install React, and it does take quite a while to get the Firebase portion into there. But after doing that, once Firebase is once you get the SDK installed, along with getting React installed into your application too, you're gonna just basically get to this portion. So the user ref user state, it's actually gonna be something we're gonna be using throughout the workshop. Basically, just the use state is kind of just linking that toward Firebase to determine the user authentication purposes. Use reference meant for user reference. We're gonna import the SDK by using Firebase from Firebase App. Firebase to Firestore is accessing the Firestore, which is actually just the database portion. Firebase Authentication, which is the authentication portion. Analytics is optional. I kept it there in case, because originally I was going to use this for web hosting purposes. So hopefully, if I do figure that out, I will let you guys know. Then here's the use loss state and use collection data. Collection data is actually the reference to the Cloud Firestore. So that's pretty much this. And then use authenticate state, use auth state is the authentication purpose. And the React-based hooks is just the dependencies that are used within React. So as I showed you earlier, the npm install Firebase React Firebase hooks, that is just coming from that. I'm going to create Firebase Initialize App. This is going to be showing the API key, which I'm going to show you that in a minute. The authentication constant variable for the Firebase auth, then for Firestore to access database, and the analytics, but that's entirely up to you. Then we're going to have function sign in, function sign out, chat room, and chat message. So the sign in portion is how we're going to sign into the application. So if I show you right over here, if I press sign out, it'll say sign in with Google. From there, it will create a pop-up where I can choose an account to sign in with. And here I am. So I can say, hello, everyone. I spell everyone wrong, but you get the gist. Hello, everyone. And as I spelled that one correctly, and you can see within the database server, recent messages show hello, everyone, some random message, but then I can also create a message by pressing add document. This will be text. And the value, this is basically the word itself. I'm going to say, I don't know, poopy, because why not? Then I'm going to create one more for a timestamp. This will be created at, and then today's date, by the time I recorded this, is already Monday, present day. So from there, I'll say poopy, and I think up here you go, as Tuffy says poopy. So that's pretty much it from this portion. To activate Firebase is something we're going to show you right now. So I'm going to log out of, actually, I'll just sign in. I'll show you another way to do it. So when you get to your home page, you're not going to see what I see right now, but for some of you guys, it'll say create project right after you sign in. And by the way, when you sign in, it's entirely free, so you don't have to worry about it. So for some of you guys where it says create new project, it'll say create new project. So click that. For some of us who already had an application, what you're going to do is click up here, either to where it'll show you your current project, or you can go to the gear shift project, not project settings. No, that would only read through here, sorry. So go to your project, click add project, You can name your project whatever you want. So I'm going to call it CSUF chat. Press continue. If you want to include analytics, which is why I included here, press continue. Select your default account, create project, and this is going to take some time. It's going to create the project itself. And one other thing, right after you guys create the application through React and after including Firebase to it, remember to use Firebase Login. So for me, it already has logged into my account, which is what I'm using currently, which is my CSUF account. But for some of you guys, this is where you're going to be showing a pop-up menu. So let me show you how it looks like. So Firebase logout. So it's going to log me out for a minute, and then I can just go back in by pressing Firebase Login and press Y. Here you're going to see an authentication here. Press my username and press allow, and I successfully logged in. So make sure you do that ahead of time before we start with the actual project. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The CCF chat is ready, and you'll see a page that just looked like the one I had previously, just now it's under a new chat name. But that's how you create it. And I'm going to show you guys how to do everything else. I'm not going to use the CSUF project chat page. I'm going to go back to the one that I had originally just because it has everything, but I'll show you how everything works from here. So while you guys are on this, I'm going to show you the CSUF chat page for now. You're going to click web to click the project that you're going to use. Your web app, so just call it CSUF chat. Right, Firebase hosting. So this is you can actually host your website through Firebase, which is pretty awesome. So if you would like to do that, you may. It's up to you. I'm just going to do register app for now, and it'll say show on the bottom portion here, Firebase SDK. So if you've seen this portion, this is what's going to go under Initialize App. So kind of like from going back to the API key workshop that I did earlier last semester, the first workshop that we did. This is just an API key reference, so this is referencing you using the database, using Firebase. So you can copy that, include it here. I'm not going to do that because I already have mine, so I don't have to do anything. A couple things. We're going to go through two things. So one's called Authentication. As I say that so nervously. So what you're going to do is click Get Started. So over here, you're going to see all the things you can authenticate with. So email, phone, Google, etc. So we're going to use the Google one to authenticate users who are using the Google account. Authenticate and then use supported email, project support email, it's just your email. Click Save. We're going to do this all ahead of time, so we're not going to forget this. Users going to show all the users that are using the application. Cloud Store is the database portion. So from here, as it slowly loads, and just a quick reminder, please give us a like, subscribe, share this video with a friend. Join our Discord server, check us out on our website at dsc-csuf.com. And if you have any questions, you always feel free to go on our Discord page on our question channel, or you can just shoot us a message on dc-csuf. So as this is taking quite some long time to just load up, basically the cloud Firestore is just the, as I mentioned, the database portion. So it's going to contain the rules, which is actually the backend portion, which is actually going to be pretty dope. I kind of hope my Wi-Fi did not go off. This would be the worst time possible. Can I go back to off that? There you go. Okay, so there you go. I was kind of scared for a second. Cloud Firestore, create database. So this is the backend portion. So click next. This is something we're gonna do later on toward the video. Because first we're gonna take care of the chat room portion, so the UI portion of it, and then we're gonna move on to the backend portion. So as this loads up, setting up security rules. So for the reason why we're using this is that in our chat app, we're going to create a security rule, which basically means that you're going to be like, for example, moderating if anyone uses a bad word, for example. So under the word rules, here's where we're going to create our backend code for it. This is all written in JavaScript, so easier for some of you guys, or if you guys haven't learned JavaScript, it's a great language. I highly recommend it. And under here is the data. It's going to be showing like all the messages, for example. So for you guys, what I'm going to do, so as you follow along, type down messages. Next, then document ID, which is just autoed. Text, field, value. It's going to be the message itself. So you can say hello world. And then add another field, click timestamp. So you can show the time when this message is created. And then we'll show today's date, which is the 15th. So happy President's Day for any of you guys that are out there. Click save. And here's going to start the collection of it. So it's not going to show because I don't have a link to this account right now, but I can show you from my other portion, which I believe is, I also call that CCF chat. Oh, that's funny. Did I use CCF chat or did I use actually DSC chat? That's the one. Yeah. So you can see, for example, hello everyone is what I recently wrote. I think the one earlier, DDD, here it is. The one that I did for Poopy was the first one, which is the one I did for Poopy. Pop. There you go. So that was written today. And here it is right there. So that's basically how it is. And if I want to change a message, so let's correct the wrong everyone that I misspelled, wherever that's located. Here it is. So all I had to do is click the edit field, include the updated, and then it should show the updated portion right there. So what I'm going to do is go back to, actually, I'm going to keep it here for now. I'm going to go back to CCF chat. I believe it's the first one. Let me make sure I organize this. Yeah. So right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. What we're going to do is start with the function itself. So for the sign in function, the sign out function, chat room, et cetera, et cetera. So, and also any of you guys that are new to React and you ever want to test your application. So I'm going to close this for now. Yarn start. For that, it's going to basically load the website. And one other thing before I forget. So I am not going to go through the CSS portion, just, you know, as much as some of you guys may love it or not, I'm not a huge fan, but what we're going to do is that within our GitHub, let me load it up here. In our GitHub repository, ooh. Yeah, there's nothing here at the moment. So in our GitHub repository, if you go under ours, which will include in the link description, by the way, so web chat app, this will be public eventually. I will have all the CSS ready for you guys, so I don't really want to, you know, go through all of the CSS, honestly. As much as I love it, I don't really want to. And, well, I don't really love it, but for some of you guys who love it, it's kind of speaks for itself. Each of them contains a reference to the tag name on the HTML page and the JavaScript page that we're going to be using in a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it to it. And then just styling it from there on. So I'm going to get rid of it, but for you guys, copy, paste it. I've already done that, so. And we'll get started from here. So currently there's nothing going on at this moment, except these 4 empty functions. So this is the sign in portion. So this is what we're going to be using to sign in with Google, sign out just to get out of it, the actual chat room itself, and then the messages. So I guess from here on out, let's just start with this portion. So let's start with function sign in. So function sign in is, that's I already mentioned already, it's just signing in with Google. So first, before we do that, let's create the button for it. So return as for some reason I just went somewhere else. Okay. Oh, don't need a square bracket. Okay, so over here I'm going to create the button tag. So as earlier when I showed the application, as right now, there's nothing here at this moment, but it had a button that said sign in with Google and please do not violate community guidelines or whatever. But this is where we can create the button itself. So class name, I believe I set it to as is sign in, and then on click, which is a function we're going to create in a minute, which is sign in with Google. Then the button will say sign in with Google. And then we'll create a paragraph tag as shown earlier, just to say, be nice to people. Be nice. Do not use profanity. That's pretty much it to this portion. Not pretty much it, but that's just the return function itself, what we're going to be showing. And then from there, we have the sign in with Google function. So it's something we're going to create. So const sign in with Google. I do apologize if I'm showing like the lack of stuff, like for the lack of CSS and everything, but I wanted this project to be more focused on Firebase. So for any of you guys that are going to use it, like in Tuffy Hacks, which is coming out in a month, I highly recommend you guys go if you guys ever went to a hackathon before, or if you have, it looks good to have a project that you done it looks good to have a project that you done under a hackathon on your resume. If you guys are ever going to use Firebase, it's really, really useful. So, and possibly will save you a lot of time. So from here, we're going to create a provider function or a provider identifier, which will link to the Firebase and authenticate. And I'm going to forget this one, but I believe it's set to be Google. Well, hopefully it fills in the blank for me. Google, there you go, authenticate provider. Awesome. That saved my butt by looking it up. And then from there, we're going to have a pop-up window. So as I showed earlier from the final portion of it, we're going to show a pop-up. So it's going to be sign in with pop up, and then this will link to the provider. And that should be it to sign in. So I don't know if it's going to show it, but will it show it? No, it's not going to, because everything's not even created yet. But we'll get to that eventually. We'll get to that. So now we're going to go to sign in. So sign in is, not sign in, sign out. So that's just the portion of, just signing out. So we'll create a return, and this will be authenticate for the current user as you're the person that's going to be signing out. Then from here, we're going to create a button, and that button's just going to be a class name. That class name, I believe it's just called sign out. Actually, well, we'll figure it out. And if I screw up, I screw it up. On click, and then this will be referencing to the authentication. Oops. The authenticate auth to sign out. That's it, I believe. I think that's it. Reference that, and then sign out. And that should be it for the entirety of this function. So now we're going to move on to the chat room portion. So let's do this. So for the chat room portion, we're going to need the message reference. So for example, what I mean by the reference portion, it's going to be referencing to the cloud store. So here in messages, the collection, then messages and documents, where it just shows the message itself. So I'm going to create a reference for that. So const messages ref, and then we're going to have a link to Firestore .collection messages. I spell that absolutely horribly. Then we're going to have a constant query. This query will reference the created at portion. So that was over here. So created at February 15th. So messages ref dot order by, and then created at, and dot limit 25. Okay, so then we can create one more thing for messages. This will represent the use collection data, which is the query, and think just like I guess you could say like a form of JSON, but it's representing the portion of the array, which is the ID, which if you remember from the document portion, auto ID, that's that. The last portion, I believe, because we're gonna have to create a form for this, so I'm gonna create two of these indicators, so form value and set form value. We'll have it to use state. That should be empty, I believe. Yep. Oops. Oop, well, that's not what I want to do. There you go. Okay, so now we're gonna have to create the return portion. So let's do that real quickly. Huh? That's not what I wanted. Come on, bring that down. We're gonna need two things. We're gonna need the main reference, and we're gonna need the form submission. So let's do the main reference. The main reference tag, and this is just going to represent the messages. So this will link to chat message, which is the next function that we're going to focus on after this. So hopefully I don't butcher this up. Messages ampersand messages and then map. And we're going to need not square brackets, but we're going to need the message, so MSG, I'm going to call it that. This is going to represent or go forward to the next function of chat message. So chat message, then a key for that, which will just go to MSG ID. And then I think that's all there is to it, unless I'm missing something. Pretty sure that's it. Okay, that's all there is for that. And then after this portion, we're going to need the form. So form on submit is equal to send message, which is what we created already. Actually, no, we haven't. Something I'm going to create. Sorry. From there, if I remember correctly, the input value in the button. So input, I think we don't need this portion because we're not ending it. So value, this will be to form value. Then on change, let's go to E. Let me rewrite that. So that's to that on change goes to E, then that hits the set form value, which is E dot target, and then that'll be referencing the value as well. So E dot target dot value. Then we'll include a placeholder, I guess. So after all that, and then we'll include this placeholder. I guess say something nice. And that's pretty much it for that portion. Now we're gonna have to create the button for that, because this is just the send button. So type send in here, and then create the following, type submit, and then we'll have the form value be disabled. Well, not actually, but not disabled. It's equal to form value. Okay, and that's it for that portion. So since we created the send message, we're gonna have to create that appear. Okay, so send message, it's a constant. Okay, so we're gonna have to have this linked to async. Ooh, then from there, async E. Okay, so we're gonna have to do first. Let's get this out of the way because I know I'm gonna forget this one. Prevent default. Okay, and we're gonna have to do, all right, so it's gonna be to the user ID, photo URL, then represent the await for text created user ID and photo. So actually, let me do this real quick. So rather than doing that right now, let's do the chat message since that's where we're gonna reference it. So chat message. So that's gonna be a const text UID photo URL equal to props dot message. Then another const. I'm going to create a message class to UID, which is referencing the auth current user, because you're the one sending the message. Dot user ID, and then this is just determining if you sent the message and the message has been received. And then from there, now we're going to create the portion. Actually, since I closed it, but if you guys remember from the beginning where it showed Tuffy, within the GIF, and it shows my name, but it had the S. That's just a photo URL, which is just your, which is your profile image, basically. So return. Okay, so let's get that going. So probably the best way to do is create a div. So div class name, there's not really a class name, but reference it to message, and then have that to reference the message class, which was created from above. Class with 3 S for some reason. Okay, so we'll get that one there. All right, so let's now include the image URL, which source photo URL, and I think I have this saved. Give me 1 second. I think I have this. Oh, I forgot to include the equals of the Tuffy GIF. Yeah, I do. Cool. So let me copy that, paste it. And there you go. That is pretty much the GIF portion of this. So close that and include the text since it's your message. Text. And that should be it for this portion because we're just including the text, the photo URL that's going to be shown who sent the message. And yeah, that's pretty much it to it. So that means now we can go back to send a message. At this portion, we're going to have to include the user ID and then the photo URL as mentioned earlier to the current user. Did I do something wrong for a second? User ID, photo URL. Comma. What? Interesting. That is interesting indeed. Did I screw something up? Because that was there. Let me retry it. Current user. Let me try that again. Const user ID. I probably just missed something, but it happens. Auth current user. That's it. Okay. Not sure what I missed, but if you guys can identify it, I'm pretty sure you can. I probably just didn't see it, but await messages reference dot add. So this is where we're going to include all the beautiful information, which is going to be the text, form value. It's kind of looks like a JSON from this portion. The created at portion, as shown earlier, created at. This is to Firebase, Firestore. I believe the other one's field value. And server timestamp. There you go. Oh, that's not required. Comma, then UID, comma, and photo URL. And then after that's done, there's no comma need for this. And then that form value is going to be blank. Like that. And that's it. Because we already created the mapping for this. And yeah, that's pretty much it to this. So let's get rid of all the unnecessary space. And that's it to this portion. And that is just the portion that we're going to be seeing on here. This is nothing at the moment, so I don't think it's going to show anything, to my understanding. See it. Okay, so it showed it for like a couple seconds, but it'll come back once we start adding the rules and everything to it. Ooh. 102. Message list? I think that's supposed to just message, right? Yeah, I think that's just message. Don't think message list was something I created. Try it now. There you go. Okay, well, it'll come back eventually. Now we're going to start implementing a function. So back on Firebase, you'll see rules. So over here is the portion that we're going to be doing is to import basically the backend portion. I guess you consider it the backend, but this is basically the rules. So as I mentioned before, for the curse words, we're implementing rules within our application. So we're going to be able to prevent the curse words to come out. So, or to be set. So do a match, messages, doc ID. From there, we're going to do an allow. Allow read if request dot auth dot ID does not equal null. Oops, that's not even close to not equals. Not equals null. Okay. Then from there, we're going to do an allow create if, and I'm going to create a function called if create message. Okay. And if I'm ever going too fast, you can always pause the video. I'm going to include the backend, the rules code also within GitHub as well. So anytime you get lost or just can't remember, I'll make sure you can always go back to it. Can create message. Oop. Okay. So at least that error goes away. So we're going to have to do one for sign in, then for the owner. So let is sign in request dot ID is not equal to null. And let is owner request dot UID. I just realized I just put ID. It's supposed to be user ID. Reference the resource data. Okay. So then now we're going to do for the band portion. So let is not band equal exists. So we'll reference the database, databases, and then this reference the database to documents, band, and then just request dot dot user ID, and then this is all if it's false. And then from there, just return is signed in and is owner and is not banned. Okay, so after all this, we're going to click published. So from there, so I'm going to stop this for a minute. What we're going to do is imply or bring over the functions. Excuse me. We're going to bring over the functions over to our code, basically. And then we're going to reference the is not banned, basically a little further, as in we're going to include the dependency for all the bad words, basically, and then also ban them if they say a certain word X amount of times. So like if you remember like Club Penguin, for example, if you ever said a bad word, they tell you what bad word that you said, and you're banned for how long, basically. So for a lot of you guys, all you have to do is do Firebase Init, and technically there's like 100, there's gonna be like 7 options for this, which contain all these options basically. We're just gonna do the one for functions. So functions. From there, it's gonna create a folder. So press Y, click JavaScript, say no, and no. So you can install the dependencies on npm if you want, but it's going to take forever for that portion. And under here, you're going to be given a git ignore, index.js, package, JSON, etc., etc. So, and then from there, I believe npm bad words. So that's what it's called. That's the bad words dependency. Oh, I just realized I put in the wrong one. Oops. Can I just go ahead and get out of that? Yeah, terminate it. Until I forgot you had to do cd functions, and then you can do npmi bad words. You got to put this within the functions folder. So as this goes ahead, and then from there, now we're gonna include everything in there. So erase that. So it already has the function. So now I'm gonna do for the filter. This is gonna contain the bad words. Then we're gonna have one that will include the Firebase admins, which is just the admin itself. Require Firebase admin and admin dot initial. I think that's called initialize app. It's just the portion where API key is. Let me double check that. It's called initialize app. Nope. Oh yeah, I already have it here. Initialize app. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now we're going to have this connect to the database. So const database is equal to admin Firestore. So as shown from the other side of the Cloud Firestore, when you go back to data, you'll see all the messages here. So it's going to go through all this stuff, find the message, et cetera, et cetera. Now to, I guess, now starting to ban, so detect evil users to functions Firestore. Have this represent to documents. Not document. Message to message ID. Then the other one would be to on create to async. That would go to the docs. I think it's CTX. I think that's right. Okay. So now we're going to do well, a lot of things right now. So first things first, we're going to now create basically a node filter. So we're going to do the following, const filter and new filter. Then from there, we're going to do for const for the text and the user ID. That will go to the data, so doc data. Now we're going to do for the profanity portion. So I think they have a function already installed called is profane. So let me double check if that's true. Otherwise, I'll have to create one. If filter, since it is now the new reference, dot is it is profane. Let me check. P R O. Okay. If not, I'll make one. Text. Then from there, we're going to clean the text. So create a variable that's clean. To filter dot clean text. And then we're going to show the updation for the person that got banned for something. So let's do await doc reference update. So this is like the portion in Club Penguin when you say something, then I'm going to tell you what you said. So for this portion, I'm going to show a text. And that text is going to show, let me get that emoji that I originally used. Yeah, and then I got banned for saying, and then reference the word. Just used by the variable cleaned. And that should be it to it. And then from that, we'll go to the E collection, just the Firestore database, and doc UID dot set. Oh, and then click that. Okay, that should be it for that portion. And then from there, you're gonna have one for the reference, you're gonna have one for the user data, and then the amount of times they can do this before they get fully banned. So let's do that. Const user reference is equal to db dot collection users. I think this is gonna be just doc user ID. Then one for the user data. So const user data is equal to await, and then user or use or reference, which is the variable we created, dot get, and that will represent the data. I think I'm doing this correctly. Then we're going to do the message count for the amount of time they do it. So if user data.msg count, let's say more than 7 for now. Now we're going to do an await db collection. I think this is basically going to be the same thing as this, just to show that they're banned. And then the else statement, then continues. So await user ref dot set, and then message count, which shows the count. Let's do user data dot msg count, and then we'll do a +1. And that's all there is to it. Unless I'm missing anything else, pretty sure that's all there is to it. So, and that, save all. Now, I hope, and hopefully it works, this should be it to it. So let me get out of this, yarn start. Because we got the function point, we got the package JSON, already updated app.js, and I already included the CSS, which, again, not going to explain all of that since this is mostly focused on Firebase. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, you can learn something new out of it, give us a like, share, subscribe, share this video with a friend. And that is not what's supposed to happen. Why is it not showing the application? Is there something that I missed? Let me double check everything real quickly. I believe that's fine. I believe that's fine. Unless I am tripping, which I hope I'm not. I think we're okay. It's not referencing through anything else, so it's possible. I'm using the other one too, so I don't think that would be the reason for this. Is there a reason that I'm missing? Let me double check this. Maybe I think I'm missing something here, because I didn't include this portion. Is that what it is? Let me double check. Save all. There you go. Okay. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why that's aligned that way. So maybe I missed something from there, but let's see if it works. So if I type this in, yeah, there you go. And then I'm gonna go, because I'm not on this one, I'm on TSC chat, but for some of you guys are gonna be using CS, well, whatever the React, whatever your portion is called. So that should be the same thing, right? Yeah. I close this, and I recently just typed that. So let's see where it's located. There it is, right here. Can I filter this? That's fine. Well, at least we can see the reaction to itself, and I think I may have just made a tiny mistake because this should be on the wrong end. But let's also test one other thing. Let's add an auto ID. So I'm going to add text. We did it, kinda. Okay, so then we did it kinda, and then I think that will appear somewhere. Ooh, that did not appear. Interesting. Oh, I forgot to include the timestamp for this. Let me remove that. Then we did it. Oh, that's text. We did it. Timestamp created at, and then today's date. Save. There you go. Okay, so I just forgot to include the created app portion. I'm going to double check this portion right here, but that's pretty much it to the application itself. I'll have this fixed, so if you guys are going to check this out toward the end, hopefully this is on the right side itself. I'm pretty sure it should have been on the earlier demo that I sent or showed basically, but I'll double check for it. Actually, let me do one more thing, since technically the scrolling issue is going to be the one issue as well. Let me set a dummy for that. So I'm gonna do, because this will be a chat room. Cons dummy equals use ref. No, come on, use ref. So at least this will handle the scrolling portion of it, so it doesn't look like it's stagnant. So then that means from here, dummy dot current dot I think it's scroll into view. I think that's what it's called. Then behavior as I'm struggling to spell, should be just smooth. It's waiting on a noob. Wrong smooth, but some of you guys might get that. So I think that would be fixed. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So, ooh, an issue, dummy. Did I do something wrong there? Let's check it out. No, not that I'm missing anything. Maybe it's got to be something else. Because I know I have to include this over here. Because that would represent the dummy. There. So what's the problem? This area. Is this still going to show the issue now? No, I think that's just that portion itself, because I don't think it was a reference within the application. But yeah, that is, now it's pretty much is to it. I think I might be just missing something for the left portion, but other than that, that's pretty much what it is. I'll get that fixed on the final product, so if you guys want to test it out on your own, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, that's pretty much how Firebase works. As you can see, the amount of security that it has, that I was able to enable a security feature under the rules index. You're able to see the access data, you're able to ban somebody, et cetera, et cetera. It's quite amazing how much, like, I guess you could say availability and power that Firebase has. Hopefully you guys get to use it one day. Hopefully you guys get to use it on your projects. And yeah, that's pretty much all. That's all there is to this workshop. And that's the end of the video. I hope this inspires you guys to be able to use Firebase for any application or any hackathon that you're going to be doing in the near future. And yeah, it shows how really great it is, honestly. I've used it. I first dawned upon it last semester and during the hackathon I was part of, and I've been using it ever since. If you like this video, please give us a subscribe, share this video with a friend, like the video, give us a comment, join our Discord page, check out our website. It's dsc-csup.com. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, again, always hit us up on Discord, and we'll see you on the next workshop.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my